In Haringey, we do have a commissioning department. They're predominantly responsible though for adult social care, children's social care and the voluntary sector. I think it's fair to say that commissioning has become more organised in the council over these last few years, and if you talk about the commissioning kind of cycle, people try and follow that. We're trying to be a lot more organised, a lot more careful, follow good practice around commissioning, reviewing and analysing and planning and then reviewing what actually happens. Before, there was, and particularly with myself, you bought things. And as I say, now it's much more structured. While we were seen as, valuable members of staff, it was very much, I think, appreciated, but at the same time not really drawn into those wider discussions around how physical activity can really help with the whole prevention agenda and longer term savings and things like that. And certainly with this project and how it operated, their perceptions have changed. So we are seen now, the department, as a real asset for the council. As I say, that growing recognition that physical activity is really one of the key things to sort out. For me, that was one of the biggest learning things I got out of the whole project, was the phrase integrate physical activity into care pathways. Would never have entered my mind, let alone say it prior to this project. But the way the project kind of very much encouraged you to make those contacts with very important people, the CCG, to be able to understand that sort of language from my perspective was a real benefit of the project, and now I feel pretty comfortable with it. I went to one CCG meeting where it really brought home to me the level of need out there is just incredible, and something that before I just used to think, why don't people just get it? Why don't they just give us some money and let us get on with it? And then you go to a meeting like that and they're just dealing with such complexity, and that's where their heads are at, and to get that appreciation was a heck of a benefit, and something that you can build on. Just go back to the beginning of the project, it forced that contact with commissioners, a wide range of commissioners across the council and the CCG in particular, and then as part of the project we had a physical activity summit, and we did the logic model and all that. That was really helpful. We had some really high level people at the conference, and we had Dr. Bird there explaining in an excellent way, in a way that engaged both the layperson and these doctors and so on in the room, the chief officer of a CCG and people like that, around what physical activity can do in terms of improving your body, so that you stay healthier for longer. And subsequent to that, as I say, I've been invited to join in a particular working group. So for example, I'm on a working group around increasing healthy life expectancy. I'm doing some stuff around for GP referral now, around looking at that with one of the public health consultants around the efficacy of it and so on. So as I said before, it's been you're at the table now, where we are refreshing our corporate plan this year, and alongside that the physical activity strategy, and as well the health and wellbeing strategy has been refreshed, and it's looking like that one of the cross-cutting themes is going to be an active and healthy Haringey. So strategically the whole thing has bubbled right up there to top level, whereas before it was something contributing, whereas now it's seen as kind of central. So as I say, outcomes, top level seems to be having some bounce there, which is really good. In terms of feel and all the rest of it, it's around the that perception around physical activity having a much greater kind of importance within the council and with the CCG as well. No one's commissioned us to do anything yet, and I just keep, it is slightly frustrating, but I just hang on to what they said to us on the first day of the project was, it's not a dash for cash. And I really hang on to that because I think it will come. But it's somewhere down the line. It's once we build up that trust and those relationships and so on with the CCG and so on, and then we start doing more and more co-production together. It's all going in the right direction. The momentum is there.
I think when we started on this journey, it was something we were quite passionate about. It was an uphill struggle to embed it. What we've tried to do is to kind of bang that drum and get the message out amongst others. The council has a series of priority boards, so with its corporate plan, there's 5 priorities and each priority has a board. So we spent time visiting each of those boards and kind of making the case for physical activity to try and ensure that it's being considered and picked up in other initiatives. I think the challenge has been is a lot of those strategies are dealing with people that are kind of either ill now or need services now. And I think a focus of ours has been kind of slightly upstream of that in terms of actually we want to stop people getting into your services. So the London Mayor, where their strategies have come forward, it's given us a platform to take that and have that discussion with other people. So where the Mayor is setting standards for healthy streets, that's allowed us to continue that discussion on around physical activity in terms of walking, cycling, and playful streets as well in terms of and spaces. What we've also been able to do is where we've been able to work with regeneration colleagues, we've been able to get that as part of their agenda in terms of what they're looking at with developers and their own master planning. Having learnt some of the language along the way, the commissioners, certainly in public health and adults, speak something else and talk in a different way, and learning for them that evidence base is absolutely key. So where we might come in with a lot of passion and a belief that physical activity is good just for the sake of physical activity, for them they want to see the difference it's going to make and before they'll spend their money. So we've built relationships with them so they know that when we say we'll deliver, and we've got that kind of track record. One of the key outcomes is we're hearing others thinking about with physical activity and what it can do without us having to be bashing down the door, and we're seeing it rise up in the corporate plan. We've managed to get council members on that journey as well, so they're understanding, because there were interviews with the cabinet member and other councillors as part of the process. They're now thinking about it and they're now asking the questions, and sometimes it's easier for them to ask the questions of somebody in another department and what they're doing about it, because they actually have to answer rather than maybe sometimes not getting the answer that we wanted or getting it up their priorities because members are asking about it. The awareness, the people thinking about it, people asking about it, and it being a kind of material consideration of others that's been really, really the biggest outcome so far. And I think physical activity will become one of the kind of cross-cutting themes throughout the corporate plan.